Hi, I'm Grace, here to grace you with my presence. I've seen quite a lot of videos where people turn a certain age and then they talk about the things that they've learned in those years of their life, and I thought I'd do it. So here is 21 things that I've learned in 21 years. Believe it or not, I am 21 years old. I still pass for 14, 15, which is really weird, but I am 21 years old. Number one, going out without wearing makeup is not the end of the world. During the entirety of my teens, I could not leave the house without wearing makeup. I didn't like the thought of even a stranger seeing me without makeup on, which now I think about it and I'm like, no one cares. Genuinely, they haven't seen you before, so they don't know what you look like with makeup, and they're just seeing you without makeup, not even caring. Number two, plaid shirts or checkered shirts, whatever you want to call them, are literally a godsend, and if I could just live off wearing them, and also jumpers, I love jumpers. Jumpers and plaid shirts, like my favourite clothing. Number three, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Now this doesn't mean to say that you don't love your family. With friends, you can choose them, and you see one person and you're like, hey, I like you, and they say, I like you back. We choose to be friends with each other. There you go. Whereas with family, you are completely thrown into it and you don't really have a choice, and you don't have to feel guilty about being closer to one family member than another family member. Number four, carrying on with the theme of friends, sometimes you drift away from your friends, but that's not a bad thing. As you grow up, friends go onto different pathways, and that's fine. You know, there's plenty of people that I was really close to 10 years ago that I don't even speak to now. And that's not because I don't like them, it's not because they don't like me. Our lives have just moved on, and that's life. Number five, not everyone thinks like me. You know, obviously I knew that not everyone thinks like me, but there were certain things for which I thought, surely, you must see my point here. Surely you must see that Trump is not a good president. But unfortunately, there are some people that do think that he is a good president, and he is president. Oh, my stomach just churned. And also, you don't actually have to please everyone. Yeah, some people think differently to you, and that doesn't mean to say that you always have to cater to that person's thoughts. Obviously, you have to respect people, but if they don't respect you, do you really have to try and please them? Number six, crying is a good thing, and I shouldn't stop myself from doing it. I feel like during my teenage years, I was so kind of emotionally closed that I never really cried that much. Obviously I did cry, but I never really let myself. The only times I realised that I cried, the majority of last year, was when I was drunk in front of my best friends. So there was 5 particular people that I cried in front of, nobody else, but I only cried in front of them when I was drunk. And that was a really weird kind of oh. And since my method acting class, I've been trying to kind of connect to my emotions. That sounds so pretentious. But I've started to realise that it's actually really healthy to cry. And the more you cry, the more you let so much weight off your shoulders. And now I'm crying a lot more at movies and films, which I'm glad I am, because I feel like I'm connecting more, and crying is a good thing. Number 7, filming and taking photos of memories is one of the best things you can do. Yes, sometimes people are like, you should live in the moment, and that's true. But I am so glad that I've taken so many pictures and videos. I have some brilliant photos and videos of me and my friends when we were at school from as young as 12 years old. And it's so funny looking back and seeing the type of people we were then and the type of people we are now. Number 8, it's okay to not know or not feel comfortable with placing yourself in a category or as a label. This could be in anything. This could be with mental health, this could be sexuality, all sorts of things. I know as a society we do tend to really obsess over labels and categories, and sometimes that's helpful, sometimes it's for a good thing, but you're not obligated to do it. If with your sexuality you're not sure, you don't have to be anything. You don't have to be straight, gay, bisexual, pansexual, all the other things. You could literally just be like, I'm human. I like people. I don't know who I'm gonna end up with, but that's fine. And it's the same with mental health. I often find myself cringing if I ever give myself the label of anxiety or depression. I'm cringing now saying it. And that's not because I'm embarrassed. When you place yourself in that kind of category, for me, it makes me anxious actually. Labels are fun for some people, but not for others. Number 9, be nice to people, but don't allow yourself to become a pushover. My first school, I remember it being quite bitchy. Maybe it wasn't all the time, but that's the memory I have of it. I was either the brunt of the bitchiness, or because I wanted to have friends, I would kind of sometimes join in, not realizing that it wasn't a good thing. And then I got to about 11, 12 and I thought, whoa, this is not me. I want people to like me for being a nice person. So when I went to secondary school, I'm not saying I never bitched, but especially like the first kind of couple of years, I tried so hard to just be nice all the time, even to someone that was horrible to me. And that kind of led to being a pushover basically. Sometimes people would say stuff to me which was actually horrible, but I wouldn't stand up for myself because I wouldn't want to cause an argument. I wouldn't want to upset that person. And it was only when some of my best friends were like, hey Grace, that's not right what they just said to you. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know what to do. But now I would definitely stand up for myself and be like, bitch please. Number 10, just because you don't look like someone that you think is attractive doesn't mean to say that you're not attractive. Sometimes I'll look at someone and they'll be blonde, bright blue eyes, nice tan skin, and then I'll look at me and I'll be like dark hair, dark eyes, pink blotchy skin, and I'm like, oh, I don't look like them, so I'm not pretty. And I'm not saying that, oh, I am gorgeous or whatever, but there are days sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, okay, you're not actually that bad looking. I need to stop comparing myself to girls that I think are really gorgeous and pretty. And if I don't look like them, it doesn't mean to say that I'm not pretty. Number 11, bookshops are literally the best places in the world. If you want to find something new to read, go to a bookshop. If you want to find inspiration, go to a bookshop. For me, if I've ever had like an anxious moment or a panic attack I go to bookshops and I'm immediately calm. Bookshops are amazing. Number 12, growing up is really scary, but you've just got to do it the way that you feel is best. And if that means making a fudge ton of mistakes, then you make those mistakes. Things are gonna go wrong. And if you want to go on a journey that perhaps no one in your family has gone on, or none of your friends have gone on, and they question it saying, is that a good idea? You should go with what you think is right. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake, but it's your mistake, it's your life. Growing up is really scary. Number 13, find creative things to do. Is not only fun, it's therapeutic. Whether that's drawing, writing, acting, singing, dancing, filming stuff. Creativity is just one of the most beautiful things that you could have. And without creativity, the human race would be blooming depressing. Number 14, tea is literally the best drink in the world. If you're feeling tired, drink a cup of tea. If you're feeling cold, drink a cup of tea. If you're feeling thirsty, drink a cup of tea. If you're feeling anxious, drink a cup of tea. If you're feeling happy, drink a cup of tea. Number 15, you are never too old for Disney films and other animated films. I feel like I appreciate Disney films and animated films so much more now that I'm older. Obviously I loved them as a child, but now I literally cry. Disney and other animated movies are fantastic. Number 16, trust your instincts. Sometimes you get that niggly feeling in the back of your head when you're like, this isn't right, or I'm not comfortable, I should leave now. And luckily, recently, I've gone on my instincts and it's all been good. Number 17, we're nearly there, guys. Don't listen to other people when they make fun of you for things that you like. This was basically the entirety of my teenage years. Okay, I do question some of the things I was fans of when I was younger, but at the time, they made me happy. And the fact that there were people who, sometimes even friends, would just make fun of me. When I was younger, it used to really get to me, and I used to sometimes hesitate when I posted about something that I liked. But now, I don't care. Like recently, someone told me they thought I had more class when they found out that I watched Zoella vlogs. I like Zoella. About last year, when I was feeling really anxious and I just was not in a great place. I watched her vlogs and they calmed me down and they made me happy. And why should I not watch them because you don't like her? Screw you. Number 18, try new foods. I'm not a fan of fish, but I remember going on holiday once and I was offered calamari and I remember thinking, that's disgusting, it's squid, it's fish. One day we were eating a meal, I think we were eating a platter of food and we were sharing it, and my parents said, oh, try a bit of calamari, and I was hesitant. I tried it. Honestly, my life has changed. I am obsessed with calamari. I love calamari so much. Your life might be changed, so constantly try new foods. Number 19, procrastination is not your friend and you should stop giving into it. She says as she looks into the camera but really is looking to herself, I am constantly giving into procrastination and it's not good. Number 20, traveling is actually quite fun. Obviously, if I'm carrying loads of heavy bags, then it's not fun. But I quite like getting on the train or getting on the coach and looking out the window or being in a car. I feel like with planes, I prefer bigger planes to little planes. That sounds like an innuendo. I prefer bigger planes to little planes. Well, don't we all? Yeah, I actually quite like traveling. It doesn't matter where, I just like traveling. Last but not least, number 21 is life is what you make it. We're finishing on a cliche right there. If you're constantly thinking that my life is rubbish, my life is depressing, then your life is gonna be rubbish and depressing. You're allowed to have your down days, totally human. Honestly, try and balance it out and think more optimistically. If we didn't think positively, then life would be depressing. We don't want that. So there you have it, the 21 things that I've learned in 21 years. I have learned plenty more stuff, but narrowed it down to those few. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Still not used to this fringe. Give this video a like if you think I should grow a moustache. Stay graceful. I'm 21 and nothing's changed in the fact that I still hate myself.